Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Thursday, November 20th, a little bit before 7:30, and this is our daily recap video for our three YieldMax weekly paying funds that we cover: Ulti, LFGY, and SLTY. They are the Ultra Option Income Strategy Fund, the Crypto Industry Portfolio Option Income Fund, and the Ultra Short Option Income Strategy Fund. As always, I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. Follow me there. I give you the links to the video premieres, and it gets you the heads up a little bit faster than YouTube. But I still ask that if you don't mind, click on the notifications on YouTube, because that kind of helps with the algorithm and tells YouTube people like the channel and they should suggest it to more people. All right. We thought we had a green day today. Started off big. I actually got my distribution. I was looking to redeploy it. Took a look at things, saw Ulti at 415, and said, "Yeah, no, I'm not jumping in on a day where it's up 3+%. I just don't like to buy on a green day." But it didn't take too long. The next time I checked, it was underwater. So I got some shares in the 390s. I can't remember where, but it ended up. I mean, look at from top to bottom, it was a 6.5% swing throughout in intraday. That's horrible. Down 3.23%. LFGY similarly started up nice, ended down low, 6.6% swing. And SLTY thought they were going to have a bad day and turned it all around, up 2.5% total. But in intraday, they were up 5% from their lows on the day. All right, we'll take a look at the individual holdings within the funds, but you can see this is kind of like the collection of all of them, and everybody's got basically the exact same chart, starting off high, dropping low. Only a couple actually were able to survive and stay green. All right, we will check out Ulti first. Ulti Anonymous, welcome to our nightly meeting. Okay, we had no shares trading hands. There was no additions or removals from the fund. It was just closing and rolling to next week. First off, Affirm brought in $734,000. Then Coinbase brought in $1.8 million. Google had a credit of $650,000. Robinhood brought in $1.4 million. Iron was a credit of $1.8 million. Meta had a credit of $1.2 million. Nvidia, a $750,000 credit. Oklo brought in $1 million. Palantir had a credit of $1.5 million. Rocket Lab, kicking butt, $23 million. That's insane. Their protective puts really came in handy there. $21 million, almost $22 million that they got to sell them for. That's rough. And NewScale Power, $1.8 million. So all in all, on the trading day, realized gains was $36,207,000. There was also unrealized changes as well. Share price moving, obviously everything went down. So that reduced the value of the shares within the fund by $63 million. All right, each of those was a closeout and a roll to next week. That's why we highlight them in orange for under construction. When we switch to this page, if it's under construction, then we don't have to waste time talking about how the options are positioned. So first off, let's look at our weighted move. We had a 4.6% drop in the underlying shares on average, but that's not just averaging each share price. That's on average, also taking into the account the weight of each underlying within the fund. So if you just own the shares in the same ratio without having Ulti, without doing the options, you'd have gone down 4.64%. With Ulti, it dropped 3.11%. So we generally would hope for a little bit better protection than that, but maybe we'll be able to figure that out as we look through the spreadsheet. So Affirm was down 4.3%. Everything got rolled till next week. Astera Lab down 1.9%. Calls expiring tomorrow at 155 or 11% out of the money. Cash on hand, they got 121, almost 122 million. There is no government funds right now. Probably see some tomorrow. Celsius down 4.8%. Calls expiring tomorrow, 8.3% out of the money. Puts that are sold expiring tomorrow are 2% in the money. Coinbase was down 7.4%. Crypto continues to get beat. Everything got rolled the next week. Costco, there's your stable fund holding strong in an ugly day, up 0.3%. Their calls are out till next week, so we're not too worried about it. 1.3% out of the money, and their puts sold are 2.6% out. Circle Internet Group down 4%. I believe these are, they're already rolled to next week as well. $79 calls are 18% out of the money. We've got GDX down 4.4%. Kind of surprising. You'd think gold stuff would go up when the market tanks, but calls at 80 for next week are 9.5% out of the money. Puts at 65 are almost 11% out. GLD, another gold fund, down just 2/100ths, so nothing major, 7 cents. These are already out to next week as well. $390 calls are 4% out. $350 puts are 6.6% out. Alphabet's Google down 1.15%. They've got calls at 300 that are 3.6% out of the money, expiring tomorrow. The other sold options was a sold put that got rolled to next week. It was a put spread, so the other side of it did as well. Hood was down 10.1%, and they're not even the biggest loser. Everything got rolled to next week. Iron down 5.1%. Everything got rolled to next week. Meta Platforms down 0.19%. Nothing major. They closed those trades out for a win, rolled them to next week. They do still have a put spread in play, selling the 600s. They're actually 1.8% in the money, so they could use a nice bounce tomorrow morning. MP Materials Corp down 10.8%. They were actually, for them to end 7% out of the money, that means they were in the money yesterday. I don't remember anything being in the money, but $61 calls are 7.6% out. NVIDIA Corp down 3.1%. Everything got rolled, so NVIDIA was expecting to be up nice and big today. If you remember last night's video, we knew that they had good earnings after hours and they were up big, but they started off nice and then tailed off. I don't pay enough attention to the news. I was actually stuck on a job site real late today, so I don't even know why the market did its midday turnaround, but I'm sure you guys do. Everything got rolled for them. Oklo, the big loser, down 14.4%. Everything got rolled to next week. Palantir down 5.8%. Everything rolled to next week. Rocket Lab and NewScale both down 9.5% and 11.5%. Everything rolled to next week. SoFi down 6.7%. 2950s expiring tomorrow are 18% out of the money. SoundHound AI down 2.9%. $13 calls expiring tomorrow are 15% out of the money. Symbotic, the big winner, up 1.4%. $58 calls expiring tomorrow are just about 6% out of the money. And Direction Daily 20-year Treasury, I don't too long of a name. 3X leveraged Treasuries up 1% today. $42 calls expiring next Friday are 4.5% out. So that's how they had a $63 million decrease in the value of the shares within the fund. Assets under management of $1.4 billion. Yesterday, people sold out of the fund 5.5 million shares, bringing it down to 361,275,000. At the start of the day, the NAV was $4.04. So they went as far as up 12 cents to down, what would that be? 14 cents. So what a rough day. Today was distribution day, so you should have got your 6.42 cents per share. I'm curious for the people who had issues, I think it was last week with a holiday in it, if you had issues this week as well, or if you got paid normal. Average first call is 13% out of the money. Basically, almost everything in the fund could have the best a wonderful day tomorrow and we'd be able to capture it. We knew we were set up like that in the first place because if you remember, we said that yesterday, and because generally the share price isn't going to go up by 12 cents in a day, 3% in a day, but we easily were up that. We were not capped, but things just turned around. So that wasn't an Ulti fault thing. That was a market thing. But it gets hard to keep on saying that every day. All right, next we have LFGY. Got them on the wrong screen. Okay, again, no shares exchanged, just closing out of options. So with them, sometimes they do these very small trades at a time. We don't waste time talking about 3 contracts at a time. So just the complete ones are highlighted. BitDeer closed out and rolled to next week, $85,000 credit. Core Scientific did as well, $163,000 credit. Circle Internet Group actually cost 43, almost 44,000. That's because they were doing a put spread as opposed to calls. So they closed those out, lost some money on that, and they did switch back to call spreads on Circle. GameStop brought in almost $80,000 rolling to next week. Robinhood brought in $106,000 doing the same. Mara had a credit of $146,000 on the roll. Mercado Libre brought in $95,000. PayPal just about broke even. They were closing out put spreads and selling new ones. $2,900 credit. Riot Platforms brought in $121,000, and SharpLink Gaming had a $95,000 credit, all rolling to next week's strike prices. Overall, that was a realized gain of $917,000 on the trading day. That's going to go along with a $6.8 million decrease in the value of the shares, unrealized loss. When we look at it, we've got bullish up 0.2%. Their calls have already been rolled to next week. They're 2.8% out of the money. Bitmine Immersion, the big loser, down 10.6%. They've also already been rolled to next week. 3250s are nearly 25% out. BitDeer was down 0.2. They closed those calls out for a win. They got $3.4 million in cash and $234,000 in government funds, so not a whole lot of dry powder. Cipher Mining down 0.4%. 1750s expiring tomorrow are 20% out of the money. CleanSpark down 4.3%. These have already been rolled to next week. 1150s are 17.5% out. Coinbase down 7.4%. Again, already rolled to next week on these 262.50s. They're 10+% out. Core Scientific and Circle Internet Group dropped 1.5% and 4%. Both got completely rolled to next week's options. ETHA down 3.7%, $23 calls expiring next Friday. They've already been rolled, 7.4% out. We got a whole lot that's already been rolled to next week, so we're not going to have tons of trades tomorrow. Galaxy Digital down 6.7%, 29s expiring tomorrow, 20+% out. GameStop was down 2.3%. Everything got rolled. Robinhood down 10.1%, and they're not the biggest loser. We already said Bitmine at 10.6. They closed out their further out of the money calls. They do still have 117s in play for tomorrow, 10% out of the money. Hut 8 Corp down 10% as well. $40 calls expiring Friday are 18.5% out. IBIT, they've got this deep in the money call taking the place of their shares since they did some tax loss harvesting. Dropped 3.5% today, so that's going to hurt a lot. Their $52 calls already rolled to next week are 6% out. Mara was down 7.75. Everything got rolled. MBTX, no shares owned, just a put debit spread. They're betting on it to go down, and they've been betting correctly. They bought the 195s, and it dropped to 203.99 today. So they're not in the money yet, but with as much time that there is, these will increase nicely in value tomorrow. Mercado Libre was down 8.5%. That's a huge swing. We don't normally see more than a couple percent moves on them. Everything got rolled to next week. Strategy, 5% drop. They didn't touch anything. Their $200 calls are 12.9% out of the money for this week, and their 195s are 10% out of the money for next week. NU Holdings was down 2.2%, $16 calls expiring tomorrow, 4.5% out. NVIDIA was down 3.1%. 195s expiring tomorrow are almost 8% out of the money. Opera held their head above water, going up 1.5%. They are already rolled till next month, December 19th. They've got calls sold at 14 and puts sold at 13, 6.9 and 0.6% out of the money. PayPal, Riot, and SharpLink Gaming all rolled their options to next week after dropping 3.3, 4.2, and 5.7% respectively. And finally, Block was down just a fraction, 4 cents. And they've got $65 calls expiring tomorrow, 4.9% out of the money. So that's how you had a $6+ million decrease in the value of the shares. There's $175 million in assets under management, 6,400,000 outstanding shares. The NAV at the start of the day, $27.38. It was not that long ago when the share price was $10 higher than this. So this is getting ugly. Closing around $26.36. Today was payday, and it was, I believe, the second lowest distribution ever, 37.96 cents per share. Average sold call is nearly 13% out of the money, so there's plenty of room to run if crypto ever stops falling. We could use even a dead cat bounce would be better than what we've had. It's just been a falling knife. Okay, finally, the only thing that's doing well, we've got SLTY. Obviously, if you're short in this market, you've been doing well. I think we're all just kicking ourselves that we didn't buy in when things started turning around or turning down, because they haven't stopped since. It's been a month and a half, maybe longer, where SLTY's been doing well. Okay, so SLTY, obviously not a ton of money, not a ton of people watching for this, so they get less coverage. So we just total up all the trades. They didn't start shorting anything or stop shorting anything anymore. They're just rolling options to next week, and it cost them 4.8 million or 480,000. So if you're shorting the funds, you're selling puts. If things are dropping and taking those puts into the money, you're going to end up paying to close them out, but your share values will increase at a faster rate. So they did lose 480,000 trading today, but they increased the value of the shares within the fund by 990,000. Again, so nothing new since yesterday. Almost every single thing that they're working with, puts have gone into the money, or if not, they are very close. They had SanDisk today drop 20%. Unfortunately, for a portion of a third or so of their contracts, they were already in the money when the day started, so they did not get to capture that. Those puts would have become more expensive as the value for the fund increased. But yeah, they've only got a couple things that aren't in the money, but they were the big loser. Can't remember. Overall, it was a great day for SLTY. Every single thing that they shorted went down, so everything working in their favor. That's how you had $990,000 increase in value to the fund. So starting the day with a $29 million value, they should be up over 30 tomorrow, most likely. But obviously that 990 is not the only change. That's just the change in the share values. That doesn't change account for the change in every single option or the trading loss. But again, probably expecting to see people buy into the fund after the way things have been going. Maybe people are starting to think this is going to be more drawn out, so we'll see. But 750,000 shares, $38.69 NAV, $39.59 closing price. So literally already made back that 76-cent distribution. Can't complain about that. Man, SLTY might be getting close to break even. I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, they haven't paid out $10 yet. That's for sure. But it's not too far off though. Maybe $8 or $9 they've paid. Just doing real fast, on the spot estimates. So. Okay, that's all I got for you. I got a dad joke. Oh, I keep forgetting to mention. Somebody told me in the comments on a video yesterday. Maybe it was. Let's see if we can pull up the comments real quick. We talked about these funds with Ulti doing a reverse split, as well as some of the other individual income funds. And somebody pointed out that I believe it was E-Trade charges a $38 fee when you get a reverse split. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Geez, I can't even find it. Maybe they put it in a different comment section, but I don't want to waste. Let's see if I can get. All right, it must have been in a different comment section. I assumed it was in this one, but if you have E-Trade, just a heads up that if you've got any of these funds that are heading towards a reverse split, don't want that to catch you off guard. That's a pretty hefty fee, $38. So. All right, I got a dad joke, and then we'll get you guys out of here. So thank you for watching. Appreciate all the likes, shares, comments, and feedback. I can't even find the joke I got written down. There we go. All right, so dad joke of the day. Why didn't the turkey eat the pie? He was stuffed. Probably should have saved that for Thanksgiving, but we'll find a better one. Okay, thank you for watching. Good luck trading tomorrow. Don't forget it's Friday, so close out or roll your options if you have any, if they are in danger of assignment. And I'll catch you in the next video.